Hey guys, it's Jonny. I'm the Family Ministries Director here at Vintage Church, and I just want to talk to you guys for a few minutes about what it looks like to disciple your kids at home. With what's been going on the last few weeks, a lot of us as parents have been thrust into a new situation where we've become a little bit more responsible for discipling our kids at home and teaching them the way of Jesus. We've always had these incredible kids programs. We send our kids to church, they get these incredible lessons, they get puppets and all that stuff. And then now with having to be at home most of the time, as parents, we have to wrestle with something that is kind of new of going, okay, I need to take the full responsibility of teaching my kids the ways of Jesus and developing a relationship with him. And it's a little bit of a tricky thing to navigate when you think, I'm not a theologian, I'm not a kids professional worker, I don't know what I'm doing here, how do I get my kids to grow in their faith? And that's what I want to talk to you about. Okay, so before we get into it, here's the good news. I've done 12 years of youth ministry. And in doing youth ministry, everything I've ever seen, everything I've ever read, and everything I've ever experienced is this. If you want your kids to continue in their faith through their teen years and into adulthood, the number one thing you can give them to achieve that is a tangible, real, vulnerable expression of faith in your own home. That the students that I watch that come through that hold onto their faith are the ones that had it at home. That they saw their parents pray, they saw their parents worship, they saw their parents wrestle with faith, and they were taught it at home and practiced it at home, and it was real for them, not just at church on Sundays, but in their own household from their parents. So that's the good news. We're actually in a good place. This whole being stuck at home thing, I think is actually going to force us into a more beautiful expression of families loving Jesus together. So the question then is, how do we do it? So in this video, what I want to do is I want to give you what I think are the two big cornerstones for discipling your kids at home. And then I want to lead you through what my wife and I do with our 3 kids at home. So the first cornerstone is this. Your kids need something to imitate when it comes to their faith. They actually need to see that this matters to you. Faith in the household can't be just something that the kids do. It needs to be something that's real and relevant to you. So your kids need to see you praying. Your kids need to see you doing Bible studies and devotionals. Your kids need to see you worshiping. Their faith is only going to be as deep as what they see from you, because that's what they're going to imitate. Paul writes in 1 Corinthians 11, imitate me as I imitate Christ. That's the model for us in our homes, is that your kids will imitate you as you imitate Christ. And as you go after him and look to become more like him, they will follow what they see from you. Cornerstone number 2 is this. Our kids need predictable patterns when it comes to discipleship. They need us to create for them schedule and rhythm of behavior that happens consistently enough that they can rely on it. This teaches them what we value, what we find important, and what's worth being intentional about. And we want them to feel that when it comes to their faith. So let me tell you what my wife and I do with our 3 kids. We have 3 kids, a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 6-month-old. And what we do is, at the moment, things have changed recently, right? But at the moment, this is what we do. That on Sunday mornings, our kids know Sunday's church day. And so what that looks like for us is that we watch the live stream of the vintage services together. We do that in the morning. We do it together. We do it with breakfast. And we watch the kids' videos and they watch the adult live stream all together. We don't separate it out. We care about what they're growing in their faith, and they get to see us as we're growing in our faith. I don't worry too much about them absorbing adult content, and if they're goofing around and being silly, that's fine. But what they know is that Sunday mornings, we're gathering together as a family, and we're doing church with breakfast, sausage, and eggs, and orange juice. So that's what we do Sundays in the morning. But then in the afternoon, what we do is usually after nap time, it's then time that we do the V-Kids curriculum. So we'll get that off the website, and we will do the crafts together. We'll do the Bible reading together. We'll do the memory verses together. We'll watch the worship video together, and we do it all together. If we do a worship video, I don't just expect my kids to dance and sing to it. I'm getting up and I'm dancing and singing to it and looking like a fool, because I want to engage with them in their faith. So we do Sundays. And then what we do is our structure then for the rest of the week is that in the evenings, right before bed, we do a thing called Family Talk. And in Family Talk, we get the Jesus Storybook Bible, which is amazing, by the way, highly recommend it. We get that Bible and we read one story every night before bed with the kids. I encourage them to interrupt me and ask questions. I want them to understand it. I don't want to talk over their heads. They ask me questions, we read the Bible, and then we will go around and we say what our favorite part of the day was, and then what we share if there's anything we're worried about that we would like prayer for, or anybody that we would like to pray for. So everybody goes around and shares, and then we go around and we pray, and everybody prays for someone else's stuff. Now my son Ezekiel, he's 3, so I kind of have to feed him his lines when it comes to praying, but I'm fine with that because he's learning from me how to pray. That's the rhythm we have as a family for our kids to grow. It's simple, simple, simple. It's not that complicated. It's not difficult. It's not that much. But for now, I think it's what really is working for us. Here's the next steps. You can go on the Vintage website or the Vintage YouTube channel, and we have all kinds of resources. A lot of the resources I just mentioned are on there. But even more than that, what I'd love you to do is email me. Email me, and I would love to talk to you personally, either through email, or then from there we can call or Zoom or Skype or FaceTime or whatever it is, so that we can talk. And I'd love to help you set up predictable patterns and rhythms for your kids to imitate and grow in, so that you can disciple them in their faith.